Hello everyone, I am Lieutenant Colonel Navinder Narang, retired officer from the Indian Armed Forces, having served 21 years in the Indian Army. So, Indian Army has been a wonderful experience for me, and I have learned some lifelong skills while I was there. I am also an ex-NDA, having undergone 3 years in Khadakwasla, Pune, and then gone to IIEBM Dehradun. In these long years, whatever I learned, it was a good opportunity that when I retired in 2010, I joined the corporate. Some of the great lessons could be applied in the corporate. One major difference which I found while in the army was that the army has a ready-made structure and defined processes for everything. Whereas when you come out in the corporate, in the civil street, the systems are different. While in the army, the purpose is always established and you are on a mission mode. In the corporate and the civil, the purpose is something which you have to find, because different organizations have different rules and they're so dynamic that while performing your duties, you have to always be intent on what's coming next and where you can add value. Because the gap has to be filled by your own abilities. And one good thing in the corporate is that it allows you freedom to explore and build yourself. At the same time, I found that managers in the corporate, they lack confidence, conviction, and they get almost every time I've seen that they get afraid of challenges, not knowing how to deal with them. And they wait for growth to come to them rather than take initiatives. And me being an army guy, have always been used to taking those initiatives and taking things head on. So while I was undergoing my own growth in the corporate, I always saw an opportunity for giving out my experiences in a very different form. When this thing happened, that I read this story about a Japanese fisherman who introduced a small shark inside a fish tank to make this fish lively and agile till the time they reach the shore. Now a thought developed to me that this is the same kind of fear that everybody is dealing with. And this is an unknown fear. What if we start knowing this fear and befriending it and making it fuel for our growth rather than remaining a fear? So that put my mind into it, and I started devising ways to write this book. As I did my research, I realized sharks are amazing creatures. They are the most oldest living creatures on the planet. They have survived more than 400 million years, can you believe it? And in the bargain, they are also the top predators of the ocean. So if sharks have survived all these years and remain on top, remain on their move, there must be something to their behavior which has allowed them to do that. And mind you, we human beings are also the top predators on the planet. So there's a lot to be learned from the sharks, and as I learned that, I was amazed to see that they have variants in the leadership behavior among the species. Like mako shark is the fastest shark in the ocean, while there's a black-tipped shark which takes ownership of the area where it swims. And the bull shark always makes headway despite whatever obstacles it faces. And then you have the great white shark, with enormous shark, which knows how to project its power strategically. This gave me enough food for thought, and I tried my best to convert this into lovely stories in each shark chapter. And why I did that was because I did not want to be judgmental. People have their own circumstances, people have their own reasons for failure. But the moment you give them an alibi, a metaphor to deal with or to understand, they become more approachable to learning. That's why this book, Bring Your Own Shark. Because you should know what your challenges are and devise your own ways to beat them. And in the bargain, bring growth into your tank and not wait for growth to happen to you. So with this, I will also cover how such things are important for business schools. And I happen to be in IIEBM today. And it's an honor. Let me tell you, this institute is already doing things halfway to enable students to beat their challenges. The kind of culture, the kind of discipline, the kind of processes which you have made. I was so amazed to see the students who have just done 4 days in this institute are already ingrained in the culture so much. Not a single of them introduced them during the talk without identifying themselves. Such a beautiful discipline built in already in 4 days. And I could see the charm, the excitement, the enthusiasm in each of those faces. And I have no reasons to not to believe that this institute could perhaps be one of the best examples of how to still inculcate discipline along with other things. They have the best resources, they have a very good teacher-student ratio, and they have avenues for all-round development. And they have internship programs after the 2 years curriculum, that's what I have heard. So I would implore everybody in the environment, corporate, parents, and other institutions, look upon this institute as an example and take the value that they are creating, and in any other form they can add to the value of the institution. It will be a great thing to do. In the end, I thank everyone at IIEBM giving me an opportunity to be here today, and it was a lovely experience. I wish all the faculty and students all the best. Thank you and Jai Hind.